something a little bit different today. We are going to be taking a look at RetroArch. I'm not going to be really showing you how to install it or anything. It's just something I've been wanting to do for a while, is to dive into this and kind of showcase it off. So there are two options for playing RetroArch. There is the retail and there's the developer mode. So yeah, take that as you will and kind of look into both online. Again, I'm not diving into that. And I just kind of wanted to show it off and talk about it. So it's an emulator for, well, basically it runs on the Xbox, but it's an emulator for other things too. It's available on a lot of, well, different platforms and different places. I've heard liking the video is pretty cool and subscribing can be fun. Anyways, yeah, so these are kind of like all the different things that it can play. So I'm not showing you where to get anything or really what to get, and this is something I've been kind of like really thinking about for a long time, because I've been using RetroArch for like basically the moment you could get into it. I worked to get into it so I could play around with it. And I totally have not been playing a variety of different games. Totally not. Nope, I would never do something like that. Now keep in mind, it's like, you see a lot of videos and stuff, and it's like, I have, like, I work with companies and stuff, and I even hope that in general Xbox is fine with this, because I have selected some games to show off, because I was thinking of like, what would be the best kind of games to show off on the Xbox console than Xbox owned games, because there's a lot less wiggle room for issues if that's the case. So we're going to be kind of showing that. But first, I just wanted to go over some kind of core features here. So you do need to like occasionally update stuff. So that's kind of like an important thing. So the online updater, that's how you update your content. You just kind of go in here. It's a lot easier nowadays, but it's very confusing, this whole thing. And then another really important thing is to go to your input and to kind of play around with the hotkeys. So you want to do a menu toggle so that you can adjust things in the game. It's set as none. You get like a whole wheel of different options, but it's initially set as none, and you probably want to have something, otherwise it's like you gotta quit RetroArch every single time you play the game. And you get like so many options here, like seriously. And there's multiple ports, so you can do like co-op with a bunch of different people, which is really, really cool. And you can change the maximum users and stuff like that. So there's a lot that you can play around with, and you can like save settings. And there's like latency stuff. Like there's a lot of configuration and things you can do, which is quite neat. It really is quite neat. And you can like download like art and everything like that. Like there's album art, or well, not album art, but game art, like box art and stuff that you can download, and you can do different like filterings for video filtering and stuff like that. Like there's a lot that you can play with here. So we're just gonna we're gonna jump into this really easily. We're just gonna jump into to Perfect Dark here and kind of show off this running. So obviously, Xbox, well, Microsoft owns Perfect Dark, so kind of figured this would be an easy one to kind of go with. And I do actually suggest playing this game like regularly. Yeah. So I would actually suggest playing the nice Series X version of this game, because it runs like super, super well. Like the emulator is really good on here. Like it really, really is a great emulator. It honestly is. It's quite fantastic for what it does. But like there is like an actual really good version. It's on Game Pass and everything of Perfect Dark that looks fantastic. It plays fantastic. But for showcase sakes, I thought, hey, this is probably a safer kind of game to go with. So keep in mind there might be like moments where things slow down a bit and stuff, and you can kind of adjust how much of like this fills your screen. Like there's all these different kinds of settings here. So here's just like the opening cinematic and stuff. And, yeah, like I said, there's a beautiful widescreen version of this on Game Pass, or you can buy it too, and that's their backwards compatibility, which in itself, an emulator. Yeah, I know, right? Crazy. So let's get into this. So we kind of set up our start and back option. So you can see that there's a lot of options like screenshots and cheats and shaders and stuff like that, and there's all kinds of different things you can apply to kind of to change things, and like overrides, and you can download thumbnails, and you can adjust the controls on the fly. That's why we set this up, and like rewinding features. Like they did such a phenomenal job doing this stuff. Like kind of like getting like all these options and everything available. It's really, really quite fascinating. So we're just going to turn that off, and then we're just going to kind of show this off here. So the controls are also something that's like a little harder to deal with. See, it's like the left stick is your movement, and then the right stick is your aim, and it's like inverted, and it just really messes me up. And like the shoot button is LT. Like you could sit here and you could like customize these controls, but I just want to, like, we're just showing it off, so I don't really care that much. So it's just kind of like, your mileage will vary based on what you're playing, what you're emulating, what console you're trying to provide, or provide to the RetroArch to kind of choose, and I think that's just quite neat. But yeah, as you can tell, it's a pretty like great experience being able to kind of enjoy this. But obviously, I think Xbox has done a great job themselves with the backwards compatibility program. So yeah, it's kind of like you can get some better results in other ways. Ooh, that was some crazy movement. Where did he roll down there? That's kind of weird. See, it'd be a lot easier if I could move around less awkwardly, that's for sure. Oh, there is like an aim, and then you can kind of like look around the screen kind of thing, so that's kind of neat. There we go. So we got another gun going on. But again, it's just like a little showcase of the emulation in action. Did I shoot that guy right in a very sensitive spot? I think I did. I definitely think I did. This game is phenomenal, by the way. If you haven't played Perfect Dark in general, so good. And this is that like kind of classic version of it too, if you really want to go for that like peak nostalgia on it. Definitely some like little frame drops here or there. But again, that's the nature of like emulation and stuff, is it's a very hard thing to get perfectly right.
There's someone here.
I'm here. Joanna Dark is here. Great character. Can't wait to see what they do with the I guess rebooted new version. But I think we could jump over and whoa, shoot this guy in the face. But let's go play a different game. So again, we have the kind of the back thing. So let's do something different. So when you're kind of setting things up, you've got like a quick menu, right? But there's actually like loading content. So if you're loading content and you're doing it like there's local stuff you can have, but if you're loading content, you find your stuff in the D folder. So I'm not going to show that, and I'm just going to jump into the next game. So this is Doom 64. Yep. Another classic experience that Xbox owns. Yeah, they own the Doom IP, so that is utterly fascinating. And yeah, I would totally never use this emulator to play other experiences outside of these. Totally ones that I shouldn't have too many issues with. That's for sure. Yep. I would never even think of doing that. Yeah. So the hardest part for me of like this emulation stuff for some of these games is just like the control scheme. Drives me crazy. I've got the shotgun. I've also got these fists of fury, and it is like a really dark sort of game. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like really, really, really dark. Yeah, I think my one hard part is gonna be interacting with buttons and stuff. Because, yeah, I don't have the button interaction options. I can punch things. That's it. Oh, it worked. What was this? Okay, there we go. Now we're rolling. We are rolling. Kind of. Oh, what was this? Oh, jeez. Yeah. No, it's one of these guys. Hey there, buddy. But anyways, it's a pretty good way to enjoy this. Like, some stuff is just, like, basically perfect. And it's so cool if you want to just have your Series X be, like, the ultimate console of ultimate consoles when it comes to playing a huge range of different games well beyond, you know, even the stuff that they just offer regularly with the console that you buy in the store and stuff, right? Like, emulation is just like a whole different game of excitement and intrigue. That's for sure. It's a really neat thing to be able to enjoy. Although nothing beats the modern controls for this kind of thing. Boom! I know, right? Picked up 4 shotgun shells. A lot of good those are gonna do me. Alright, let's see if we get this going this time. So that seems to move me side to side. Yeah. Anyways, we're gonna switch over to the last game, I think, because this is the interaction control I'm having issues with. So there was obviously another Xbox owned property that I could dive into, and that's the magic of Banjo Kazooie. So yeah, this is a little bit of a classic 3D platformer that I know a lot of people really like, so let's dive in here. The ugly witch Gruntilda. So yeah, I also figured this one would be like a pretty easy one to do and showcase here, and it looks and plays really good. Once again, another title available on Game Pass that is visually much better to look at, and it controls a little bit better too. But yeah, this is that classic Banjo action. Oh, that was not a very good jump, that's for sure. I think there's like a, yeah, there's like a collectible under there, isn't there? See, I can figure out how you go underwater. It's the controls. I love how he's just going, whoa, whoa. How about the bird brain? What? Why can't I hit this thing? Oh, there we go. I gotta, like, kind of go into it. The fearsome rule! There definitely is a lot of charm in this original, isn't there? Is this guy on, like, the same plane of existence as me? Am I, like, too close to this thing? Oh, come on, what is this? Anyways, this has been a look at RetroArch. It's really cool. You know, on the Series X, it runs quite well. It's got a lot of really interesting things that you can do and things you can see. I guess I could just save and quit. Oh, I'm sure. Game over? No, don't say that. But there's a lot of cool experiences you can have. There's a lot of interesting things you can do, and I hope you kind of enjoyed this look at it, if that makes sense. Like, that's really what I wanted to present, was like a look at it, show off some of the games, show off a little bit of what it does, because I do find this to be a really intriguing sort of option, way to play games.